Hello everybody, welcome to another video, and today I'm just doing a bit of an update on the various projects I've got going on in September, showing you what I've been working on recently and what's coming up. So if you've watched the live streams I take part in over with Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors, Dom from Boots on the Table and Steve from On Point HQ, the last couple of weeks I've been working on samurai kind of models, and that's for the fantasy game Bushido. And I've been playing this game for quite a long time, and I decided I wanted a new faction, and I went on their website and I found this absolutely awesome set, and they are Ronin. And the cool thing about it is that you only need about 4 models because they're quite powerful in game. They've kind of got that whole feel about them, you know, the lone warrior, or in this case 3 warriors. So this is the first one, and his name is Ying Zhan, and he, like all the others, is a melee expert. Now this model I fell in love with basically when I saw it, and it's just the simplicity of the pose. Now all the models I'm going to show you now I consider quite simple, and I didn't want to do anything too out there with them. I wanted to keep them fairly pale color wise, and then just do some spot colors. So the red on the wrap, and I tried to do this one so he's got that traditional sort of forlorn look. Again, I've tried to keep with pale colors, and I've used bulrushes and bits just to keep a very simple base because I didn't want to take anything away from the miniature. So this is Ying Zhan. There's his profile card. So he has a decent attack value. I am going to go through about how to play this game at some point because I do love it. But you get a full color card with him, and up here these are all the factions he can take part in. Because he's a Ronin, he's not got a master, so he can fight for any or as on his own. So there we are. So that's the first one I'm incredibly pleased with. The next one in the queue is Shenziki. Let me just pop him on. There he is. He's in a bit more of an action pose with his katana, and again trying to keep things pale and muted, sort of a bit comic booky if I could. I didn't want to go over the top with anything. It's been a lot of fun to paint. So what I've done to achieve this, I've used zenithal highlighting on the undercoat, so black, grey, light grey, and then finally white. And then I've used really thinned down contrast paints and other paints to just make sure I keep those shadows and highlights that zenithal highlighting creates. And again, I've just used that red to bring that out. And the red I've used there is actually the Tamiya clear red because it gives a look of a lacquer, and I quite like that. So there's Shenziki. Again, bulrushes on the base. Looking up into the sky, thinking, oh no, what's going on here? Now in the game, these guys all act together. They all activate each other. So when one activates, the other ones activate as well, which is quite a cool little mechanic. I have a feeling though that as they start dying, things are gonna get interesting because their attack values in this game entirely depend on how many of them are alive. So their attack values are all 1 + 1 for each other Blood Brother model. All of them have got the keyword Blood Brother, so as I've got 4, all of their attacks will be 5 to start with. At the very end, they will simply be 1 or 2. So that was Shenziki, and the next one is, I'm probably going to murder this name, Shohang, and this is my favourite. And there he is, and he's in this classic action pose, I'm about to cut you in half, that you see in a lot of samurai films. Again, just try to keep it with one bright spot colour, which I've done on the scabbard, and again bulrushes to just make him sort of stand out a little bit. He's sort of standing in that ground. You always get these really nice scenes in a lot of films, samurai films, and not just samurai films, where they're sort of standing in long grass and then there's just that one hit. And what I really like there is you can see the sword blade actually coming out of the scabbard as he pulls it out. Now this one, I'll just pick him up. The zenithal highlighting, you can really be seen as you have a look at his face. So that with that half in shadow. But Bushido is a great game, and so I do want to get some content of that on the channel. It's a game that we enjoy. So there is Shao Hung. I will have photos up at the end of all of these models, so you can see. And finally is a model with loads of character, and this is his name is Bachi in the game, but he's basically their baggage man. There he is. So he's got this awesome pose. He's carrying a lantern on the end of a stick. So you can see I've just done some basic OSL lighting on him there. But look at all the stuff he's got on him. He's got the umbrella, he's got bedrolls, he's got the gigantic bow and arrows, and then he's got the mask at the back there. Those masks play a big part in the undead faction. So you can see that there's a little nod to all the other factions in the game. So again, just try to keep him fairly simple and just keep a lot of different colours muted, and then just highlight him up with the yellow. But before we bring him up so you can have a look, there he is. It's very cool. In the game he can start dishing out extra equipment to them, healing potions, and a bow and arrow if you want to do some ranged attacks. So it's going to be quite a lot of fun. So he's the little guy who follows them around. So to give you an idea, in the game, all those other models cost 16 points. He costs 2. So he has no combat ability whatsoever. But he is there to help them out. Anyway, so that's what I've been painting recently, and I wanted to spend a little bit more time on these. It's not quite the same as knocking out Wars of the Roses miniatures or Napoleonics. I wanted to spend a little bit of time until I was really happy with them. That being said though, I will go on to the next load of stuff, which is, funny enough, some Wars of the Roses stuff. Right, well of course it wouldn't be an update if I wasn't doing something to do with the Wars of the Roses, and I've taken a leaf out of Steve from proejcts book, and I've been doing some kit bashing. So with all of these Wars of the Roses models that I've been doing, I have been left with hundreds of spare parts. Now I've gone through everything. I've had men-at-arms, mountain men-at-arms, the light cavalry, the bowmen, the billmen, and I've kit bashed together this unit of crossbowmen. So these are going to be for my Burgundians, because I've already done some, but they were more uniform. And I've been borrowing bits from, I think I've borrowed bits from about 3 different sets here, and I've also converted and trimmed down pieces just to get some more interesting poses. So this is going to be a company of crossbowmen, as I say, for the Burgundians. And this isn't the final positioning, I've just put them on with blue tack, but I'm really, really pleased with how these have come out. Now, this guy here is an amalgamation from 4 different kits, and he's going to be the company captain. He's got that go here and kill what's in front of us, or if you turn it the other way, run away here, which is probably more what's going to be happening for me. So his arms are from the light cavalry set. The crossbow is from the light cavalry set, but had a previous arm attached to it because it was being sort of held in not a firing position, so I had to get rid of the arm, put that on. Then the body was from the mercenary set, the head is from the men-at-arms. There's loads on there, and I'm really pleased with how he's come out. Oh, just going to move that. Now the banner bearer, I've had to improvise a little bit. He's just a pikeman, but I have borrowed some pieces from other sets on there. But he's just a pikeman, and he will have a crossbow company standard on there. The guy's firing and reloading. I'm in love with these models. I've always said the mercenary side of things, I just think you've got some of the nicest things that you can do. And here, I wanted one who was in a bit of a sort of informal pose, so I've put together this guy here. Now, that arm is also from the light cavalry set, but this arm is from, I believe it's just from the normal billman and bowman set. Sorry, it keeps on dropping out of autofocus. There we go. So I had to trim off part of his arm just so he could have his hand on his hip. Another guy reloading, bit more of a fancy hat, but some headgear. Firing and reloading as well. Now, as you can see at the base, these are all the pavés shields that I'm going to use, and I will have these organised so there are some pavés set up so that they can be in sort of a firing position, and these are the designs that I'm going to be using on the shields. So before I used the blue and the white with the red cross of burgundy, and now I'm going to use these ones. So I've only used 2 so far, and those are on the command base I did. So it's going to look pretty cool, and I'll make sure there's some arrows sticking in shields, and you know, I'm really pleased. So I'll probably have these done next. These will be what I'm painting on the stream this week, and then I think I've actually got to buy some new sets, but we'll be looking at moving on to Warwick because the Kingmaker now needs to make an appearance. Okay, so if you follow the channel, then you'll remember that a few weeks ago I posted that I'd got my hands on some Carthaginians, which was the result of me basically staying up and watching documentaries and drinking too much and purchasing things and then forgetting. Well, I've decided that I am going to put together a Second Punic War force. I will be doing Republican Romans and Carthaginians, and I've decided I'm basically going to do a bit of a Ancients October. So next month, I'm just going to paint nothing but Ancients. I'll do regular updates, I'll do a couple of painting videos, there'll be some battle reports in there, not for Ancients, but all of my hobby videos will be to do with Ancients. Now, that's not going to be a small thing because I've got 60 Carthaginian infantry and 2 elephants to paint up. So I've started assembling them, but I've cheated just a little bit. I've done a test model for the Carthaginian veterans, just so I could check what paints I needed, and therefore if I needed more supplies I could go and get them. So this is the Carthaginian veteran that I've done. So transfers from little big men. It's a fairly straightforward scheme. I'm not going to be keeping the same sort of cloth colours. Now, the cloth colours are interesting because, hang on a second, let me just grab this out. Where's the thing here? So I can see that the citizen infantry and sort of the Libyan infantry have got the sort of linen armour, lamel armour, and that's all cloth. But this guy here is one of the veterans. It's got this kind of, it's almost like tartan. Now I don't know if that's something that's common in sort of North African clothing. I mean, I deal a lot with sort of textiles and things in my job, or ancient textiles in my job, because we dig them up. But I don't know. So anyway, I've chosen to go with sort of a yellow on him, and we'll see. I've found some artwork that had them in, but I'll be varying it. There'll be whites and other pale colours. So I'm pretty pleased with how he's come out. Fairly straightforward, and I'm going to be doing something I don't know, might not be controversial. I'm going to be doing them on 120mm by 40mm bases, so I'm going to have the entire unit on one base, and that's simply because I want to use these for Impetus and for Hail Caesar. I've been thinking about the saga Age of Hannibal, and I've got some feelings towards that, which I'll put in another video, but for this project is going to be sort of for large scale battles. So these are the Victrix set, so I've put a few more together, tons of models in here, and you're able to kit bash a couple and change the poses around, so we should get some interesting poses for the unit. So that is my project for October, Ancients October, I'll call it. And yeah, I'm quite excited to be getting on, but I have got another, 54 infantry to put together, so I better get cracking. So I want to have everything built and ready to go when October starts. And now I'll move on to, yeah, the other thing that I'm going to be working on. So, like a lot of us, I do still like my fantasy, obviously, and I do like my science fiction. And a big part of my childhood was a certain sci-fi film franchise, which Disney has now bought, and may or may not be ruining it, depending on your view. However, I have bought into, I actually got this at Christmas, I bought into Star Wars Legion, particularly the Clone Wars era, because I'm a big fan of that series. I just wanted to paint something different. So plus also my daughter likes Star Wars. So I've got a couple of kits. So I've got a Republic AT-RT, which I've stuck together, which I'm going to show you. Which I want a honorary degree in engineering for doing that, because it did not come with instructions, and putting that together, I need to be like a clairvoyant to try and work that out. I mean, I've put together some complicated kits, right? But I just don't understand it. They put in a, look, hang on, I'll show you. Hang on. Oh, here, watch it. I'm going to pull everything off to the side here now. There we go. Right. So let me just. You get an insert. Oh, yeah, it's really handy. Look, here's all the pieces to make this guy. Here's all the pieces to make this guy, and here's all the pieces of the AT-RT. make it. Now, I've put together models before, and you know, I can figure it. It's not stupid. You know, I'm not stupid, and you know, I think. But anyone who was coming into this, you know, there's different leg options, so you can decide which leg you want forward. But there's nothing to say which bit goes with which. We've figured it out, but I don't know. Maybe that's just maybe I'm being picky. But would it have killed them just to have like a few? Like, look at this space here. Can they just put a few steps here, going, this is how the leg goes together? Mine ended up sort of bow-legged at one point and pointing backwards. It was nearly twice the height because I didn't realise that these were either or. These weren't. It says, you know, these were the options that you could do. Oh well. Anyway, I'll show you the kit. So this is the Republic ATRT that I've got now. I have painted up entirely the base set for Clone Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous. I just haven't put any of it on the channel because I was just doing something different, something for me. But I haven't actually played any of it yet. This guy will come off. Watch it. I'm going to break him now. Damn it. Okay, so he's in there pretty good. Right. That could be interesting. He is meant to come off. Come here, you. Huh. Oh, well. Anyway, so he's got a sort of a grenade launcher or rocket launcher he's carrying. I just thought it's quite a cool pose. So that's something I'm going to be working out. The plastic is hard plastic. It's good stuff. It's a nice... Now I've put it together, it's a nice looking model. I'm going to base it up. I have a bit of a red desert thing going, which I'll show you. And then to go with those, I have these BX series droid commandos. They've got these kind of cool looking perspex shields. I like this guy up here. He's got like the gun poking through it. Anyway, something a little bit different. I don't know how much content I'll do on these. I might just post them in my updates. If people want battle reports, then, you know, maybe it's something I can look at. But there are a lot of channels out there sort of doing that already. And obviously my content is primarily historical. But just something a bit different. And I say, I like Star Wars. Anyway, I hope you guys are all well. And I'm now going to see if I can actually get him off of this without breaking him. And I'll leave up some photos of the completed samurai. I hope you're all well. Take care. And I'll see you all soon. Cheers.